This has truly been a roller coaster for 5 days. I've been seeing everyone's stunning artwork under the hashtag Femvisionary challenge, and it's been really great to see how you guys have proceeded and how the artwork is coming through and seeing your recreations. It's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see more.
So, this is the final day of the 5 day challenge. If you are just starting off, welcome to my channel. I'm Madhu. My channel is called Femvisionary, and I mainly paint watercolor florals. And if you've been following along the challenge, then welcome. We're just diving right in. This is my favorite painting, and actually, the painting that inspired the whole challenge. So, it is a very fun one. We're going to do multiple elements, so you have to be ready, prepared, and we can get started. I'm using an A5 sheet as mentioned below in the write up, and I've also mentioned the colors that you would need. There are 5 colors: yellow, orange, bright pink, purple, and then green. So, with these 5 colors, we can start painting something really beautiful that's just going to turn out amazing. With a pencil, what I have done is first kind of planned out some some cone flowers. Basically, cone flowers, the top portion is like a cone and the petals fall downwards. So that's the kind of flower that we're capturing today. So using my brush, I have loaded up the brush with water and some of the some of the pink, the bright pink paint, and I'm adding dots around the cone shapes that I had drawn earlier. So here it's just to the bottom because that's where I'm gonna add in my petals. Next, using orange, adding more dots, so that way our petals are going to be multicolored. So that's going to look really, really pretty, and it's going to give a beautiful effect. Now, once we're happy with this, I'm going to add some yellow dots. So this way I'm really playing around with the colors. Right now we have 3 different colors going on in this flower. So I'm super excited to see how this is going to turn out. And this is definitely a trial because each of us are going to end up using different amounts of these colors, and our flowers are going to look different accordingly. So using my round brush, a clear damp brush, pulling the paint from the center all the way down to form a petal. These are oval shaped petals, and you can see how that's just slowly coming together. I'm keeping in mind to pull through the paint from our existing dots. That way we have this beautiful blend of colors that is coming through. Once you're happy with the flower, we can move on to the next flower. And keep in mind to just work through this one flower at a time, because you're going to find it a lot more easier than trying to do all of it at once. If this is your first challenge with me, I have another challenge called the Beginner Florals 5-day challenge. It's again a really fun challenge, so you can check that out and use the hashtag Femberry Challenge to post your projects. Anyways, going back, I'm just slowly adding the petals one at a time allowing the colors to blend through beautifully. And this is just going to be the main focus. It's the main part, main element of our artwork. You know, that's the best part, and that's the most important part to remember, is to have a focal flower. This is the flower that's going to capture the most space and is going to look the boldest. Everything else becomes additional elements that just add on to enhancing this. So, after we have finished our cone flower, let's use our pencil and just plan out where we can possibly add in additional flowers or additional elements. So here I've got 3 cone flowers in the center. They look great. There's a lot of empty spaces. So on the side, I'm thinking of adding the Crispidia, if I've not forgotten. I don't know why I keep forgetting that flower's name. I did this in the previous paintings, but I keep forgetting. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about, I hope. And we'll just continue from there. I'm not going to spend more time trying to Google it out. So, once we've got that, we can add some taller flowers that is just going to add to the painting and give it more height and kind of give it more, just build it up more. So we have the longer flowers and just kind of keeping a space for that. Once we have those things planned out, you can see the right side looks a little bit empty. Maybe we can add another flower there. This is kind of where you can sit and think about it a little bit, or if you don't know what to do, can go ahead and start painting what you've already decided and then leave that part to the end. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just complete my cone flowers. I'm gonna complete the big flowers and then decide what I want to add to that right. So using dots of purple, adding a stem of flowers, and so just keeping it as purple, which is gonna look a little bit dull. Let's add another color. So I'm gonna add maybe orange or pink. I think pink will look better. So you can add some pink dots that are starting from bottom and moving upwards. Just keeping in mind that the lower part is a little bit more full and wider compared to as we go higher and higher. So that way on top it's much less crowded. So now that we've done that, let's use our clear brush and then we can add in some petals. And you can see how I'm layering the petals one at a time, starting from the bottom and then working my way up slowly, and the last is barely a dot. So that way we kind of are creating the triangle shape, a very elongated triangle shape for these. let us move on to adding some smaller flowers in those empty spaces. So adding purple dots around, and then let's add maybe an orange. So adding some orange dots. That way the petals are gonna be a mix of orange and purple. So that's gonna look really interesting. Orange and purple gives a very muddy color. So our flower is gonna look muddy, which could actually work to our advantage, which is why I chose that color combination. So using heart-shaped petals and completing a really simple, fun flower. Multiple color flowers are just so pretty, and they really bring through the watercolor effect. I feel like with other mediums you can't do this as much, where you get to see the colors blending. It's still much more stiff even if you use multiple colors, but acrylic or oil, it's very controlled. Whereas with watercolors, you have no idea how it's gonna turn out. You don't know what colors are gonna mix, which colors are gonna show out through. It's like a trial, and that's fun. It's an experimentation. So adding those heart-shaped petals to the center. Now using orange, we can do the center of the cone flower. So I'm just making small dots to do the center. That way it's a little bit more textured and is gonna look a lot nicer, give it a little bit more of an interesting look. So you have that final look. Now using a script liner brush, let's add outlines to the flower petal. So these are thin lines and just very broken, so not perfect, letting them be a little bit more, let it be a little bit more abstract. So not doing the outline for every single petal and just doing it for some of them. Completing that, making it look really pretty. I'm mainly doing it towards the bottom of the flower for no specific reason, but it looks much nicer. Once the longer flowers are dry, let's use our bright pink and then just paint another petal layer on top of it. So this is building up the color and looking really nice. So we have completed our cone flower. We've got our long flower set that's completed. We just have to complete our other flower. Maybe we can add some purple dots for the center to just give it a little bit more of a lift. If you've noticed with watercolors, colors tend to dry and become duller, so it's really important to build up color. You do need to add in a second layer to really make it brighten it up. So that's why the thin lines, the small details really help. So it's really interesting when I do my voiceovers. I do them as voiceovers, so I've already painted the piece and then I watch the video and I do the voice recording. So I tend to do them a lot. So in the beginning, there's always so much that I have to say, and as the videos go, there's lesser and lesser, and I feel more tired. So after that, I start sharing stories and I start sharing more about me, because I feel like I'm also there with you while you're painting. So it's not just a solo process, I'm also there being with you, right? So yeah, so I kind of move through my stories when I do my voiceovers. So here doing the Crispedias, I don't know if they're pronounced that way. If it is pronounced incorrectly, could you please do me a favor and add it to the comments below so I know? Because this is how I think it's pronounced. So I'm not sure that's how, I mean, this is how it's spelled. But yeah, maybe there's a missing vowel, or there's something that's silent. So that would be interesting. Anyways, adding the stem from all of these elements. This is kind of the final step. We've completed everything. We're just gonna add in the elements, the stems and the leaves. So using the thin brush, just dragging those stems out with our green and just kind of bringing them to the same line. It's okay if your stems kind of cross each other. That's part of the look. For the Crispedias, it's important to add your leaves really close to it. That looks really nice. For some of the other ones, we might have to add leaves in different areas or play around with them. For the long flowers, let's add small leaves in between the existing petals. So just adding the stem and then the leaves one at a time. And that's gonna look really great. So after that long stem of flowers, let's do the other side as well. And we can then think about how we want to do our leaves for the rest. So, something I've been thinking about is that I really am enjoying the 5-day challenges. They're very quick. I do have people who tell me that they finished everything in one day. So, if that's you, wow, well done, amazing. And if you were able to finish each day at a time, that's so impressive. To kind of make art a daily kind of plan, to fix time for it, is absolutely amazing. And when you can do that, make it part of your daily life, you'll just enjoy it. It becomes kind of a way to relax. Like, I love diving into it, and when I struggle to figure out what to paint, a challenge is a great way to get me out of my comfort zone. So it pushes me a little bit more, and I kind of get inspired again. So I really love doing that. Going back to our painting, we've done our stems, and now we can use leaves and complete the piece. For the leaves, I'm attaching them to the existing flowers. So, not keeping them very far away, but just making sure that they're very close to what I've already painted. And when you do this, you're gonna make it look really nice and fill up the space. So, adding some leaves, I'm trying to do them in different directions, not just straight, but in different angles, so it looks interesting. For some of these other flowers, we can do longer leaves to give a little bit of variation to what we painted. So we are done with our painting. This is our final artwork. I can't wait to see all your 5 paintings, and I'd love to see them on the hashtag Femvisionary challenge. I'd like to also hear how you felt about this challenge and maybe inspire others to join it as well in the comments below. Please do subscribe and check out my channel for more. Thank you for watching and have a really good month.